What's something the internet killed that you miss? Having a mental catalog of great jokes that most people hadn't heard. It was so much fun to drop a few at parties and get some laughs. Removed. This one. I feel like I missed out in college because anytime the slightest thing happened at college, people would instantly whip their phones out. And this was 6 years ago. I can't imagine what kids go through now. Greater than any time the slightest thing happened at college, people would instantly whip their phones out. It's been 25 years since I was in college. I wish we had phones with cameras. Back then, a lot of faded memories of people and places that I wish I had photos of. If you were exceedingly dumb or had terrible ideas, your reach was really only your direct circle of friends. Now idiots can broadcast their ideas across the planet with a click. The village idiots have gone global. I'm seeing a few people say movie rental stores. I think specifically the moment when mom and dad say, "Let's go rent movies tonight," and you knew you were in for a night of staying up late and eating junk food. Those were the days, man. Note, my first silver. Note 2, man oh man, my first gold. I knew Pokémon Mewtwo Strikes Back was going to positively impact my future. Video game secrets. It was really cool hearing kids talk about if you beat every person in a row without losing, you fight a secret boss in Street Fighter 2. And the only way you'd actually know for sure is if it happened in front of you. And being the first to speed news of secrets and Easter eggs among your group of friends. Now you can look up whatever you want to know, and where to find any object in almost every game there is. I miss playground rumors. And when games had genuine mystery. Did you know, if you beat Metroid fast enough, Samus takes off all of her clothes? User-generated web content with no thought to advertising, search engine optimization, monetizing. SEO is an industry I would love to see die in a fire. It has the worst incentives. It encourages people to make garbage content stuffed with keywords and other tricks. I've seen people here on Reddit complain about how recipe sites have lots of bullshit fluff content. That is entirely due to SEO. It also encourages an entire scam industry of people who claim to know all the new tricks. Whenever Google decides to change their opaque processes algorithms, I've seen small business owners fork over thousands of dollars for SEO. Yeah, screw SEO. Edit. Had no idea people would feel so passionately about SEO. I have received roughly the same number of responses defending SEO as responses saying it needs to go DF. I won't dispute that there are honest and reputable people out there who do SEO as part of their job. But I have encountered exactly 0 companies who specialize in SEO that were honest. It is those companies that are the target of my ire as opposed to the practice of optimizing content for search engines itself. Sorry, too many bad actors and foul players have ruined my trust of any company that sells SEO services. There is now a work culture of always being reachable by email or text for whatever happens. A lot of places expect you to be pretty much on call even when you're not at the office anymore. I worked at an ad agency where days off sometimes didn't even feel like that, because I would still be getting emails about things and was expected to be checking them. Monsieur, there should be some level of balance between work and personal life, and I feel like that is fading, because so many places are adapting this type of culture, especially startups. I used to work at an accounting firm where that was the expectation. Never again. That shouldn't be acceptable. It isn't at my office. I'd never be okay with a boss calling me after work hours except in very rare circumstances. Got to have a work-life separation. Saturday morning cartoons. As I get older, I realize the ritual of a thing is just as important as the actual thing itself. It's not just about the cartoons. Watching them as an adult, many of the cartoons from the 80s and early 90s were terrible. Rather, it was the event of Saturday morning cartoons that I miss. My daughters can watch whatever they want whenever they want to watch it. They don't know what it is like to have to wait for a week for a new episode. They usually just binge their shows whenever they want. If my kids want to spend the entire weekend watching My Little Pony, they can. And they can do it the week after, too. They don't know what it is like to miss an episode of Power Rangers because it was now scheduled at 7 a.m. instead of 6:30 and I had to leave for school. They also don't have to watch TV together. They can just watch whatever on their phones or tablets or on the TV in the living room. Monsieur. Nothing. Except my wife and I stop them from consuming the specific entertainment that they want. Edit. A stray period was bugging me. My dad says he misses having arguments with friends which could only be resolved by phoning whoever was most knowledgeable on a subject, e.g. did you know lightning travels upwards? No, it goes down. Let's phone your dad. He's a meteorologist. I miss that, the sense of wonderment and imagining how something could work. Now, I can instantly end it with a search. I also miss the simplicity of doing something. For so many things, I find myself researching the multitude of ways to tackle something and feeling overwhelmed. Before, it would be one way. From a book, just going over to your friend's house or the park unannounced to see if they were there and hang out. Yard sales, garage sales and flea markets. People still have them, but it's way harder to find stuff at a good price. eBay and Amazon have ruined that, because everybody just looks up what things are selling for. And sometimes eBay is ridiculously inflated. I found a rare Nerf gun that we had been looking for at a flea market once, and the lady was charging $150, because that was the going rate on eBay. People are always selling action figures in crappy condition for $20, because they don't realize that that price is mint in box, and all of the arms and legs are required. Like, I just want to grab a TMNT toy for my kids. I'm not paying $20 for your broken toy. It used to be about persistence and digging up a good deal somewhere. Now, I may as well just buy it off of eBay. The cost is the same and my house smells better than most of the people at the flea markets. People throwing garage sales don't seem to understand that garage sales are meant for getting rid of unwanted stuff. Getting money for it is just a bonus. You need to price that stuff at the point where you get a little something, but it still flies off the table, or you gotta be open to haggling. If you want top dollar, go on Craigslist, price it fairly, and drop the price gradually until it's gone. At Disneyland, after you had ridden on the Haunted Mansion ride, you could ask a member of staff to provide you with a special secret death certificate to say that you died on the ride. Obviously it's not legally binding. It was a secret, but when I was younger and visited Disneyland, my mother heard someone request a tan after asking them about it. Then we all got one. Unfortunately, with the advent of the internet, the secret got out and too many people were asking for death certificate. So Disney in their infinite wisdom scrapped a little Easter egg. I've since lost mine and had one day hoped to get one for my child. Edit. Wow, did not expect this comment to blow up. Thanks for the silver and all the tricks to try if I ever go back there. Not legally binding? That's bullshit. Honestly, with how many things Disney creates that are legally binding, I'm really surprised this one doesn't cut it. I heard Disney had to scrap a talking trash can because it got out on the internet as well. Oh man, I miss Push. It was a very well done, interactive little trash can who was sarcastic and used to ask people if they were done with the item they had in their hand. The person controlling it did a good job blending in with the crowd and not being obvious what they were doing. Good times. My eyesight. I told you you'd go blind if you kept doing that. BBS systems. When I was a kid, there were local bulletin board systems. We chatted, we left messages, arranged doom death matches and played door games. Then you'd see those people in real life, at school and user meetups. It was all local. That's how I met my husband. We met through his BB when we were 16. Been married now 18 years. Together for 23 years. AOL chat rooms. Around 2006-ish. The internet moved from being a way to talk to new people to a way to keep talking to people you already know. That's super useful and all. But there was a lot to be said for building friendships with total strangers who you only knew by a username, but would still chat to every night. It was part of the internet of discovery rather than the internet of familiarity. I miss it at times. It was nice to have it be so easy to build those connections. I like your phrase, the internet of discovery versus the internet of familiarity. It's a really good description. I miss the feeling of walking into a Blockbuster but still appreciate the convenience of streaming. I did Blockbuster's attempt to compete with Netflix DVD mailings. It was awesome because they let me bring a mailed disc into the store and exchange it for a free rental. They would send the NES disc when it was scanned at the store. So I was never without something. I didn't miss a new release for about 2 years. Photo albums. My parents have all these awesome albums from when they were kids. And then when they got married and then from my childhood. I love leafing through them when I'm at their house. My own photos are all on Facebook or Instagram and it's not the same at all. Snapfish, Walgreens, etc. let you get prints of digital photos. They aren't always as detailed as 35mm prints but work pretty well. The first time my girlfriend was like, I'm gonna go to Walmart and print off these pictures so we can hang them up, it blew my mind. I had never really considered showing off some of the fun times we had been having. Now the house is filled with fun memories. I miss when concerts didn't have a sea of people filming a video from their phone. Like many people, I'm often nostalgic for the feeling of brick-and-mortar rental stores. I can't describe the joy I felt walking into a Blockbuster on a Friday night hoping the new movie I wanted to rent wasn't sold out, and getting overpriced movie snacks while waiting in line. Being off the grid, internet and cell phones ruined it. Nothing stresses me out more than a string of texts in the morning. I feel like I have to check it in case it's work-related. Email used to be fun. Now it's just a series of people needing something from me or trying to sell me something. Maybe I'm just an old cranky man, reading a book before bed. Now I mostly surf the web until I get tired. I've been trying to break that habit myself. Even with night screen enabled, I find that looking at my phone makes it hard to go to sleep. Whereas reading a book wouldn't have that effect on me. But it's so damn hard. I usually end up down some rabbit hole of nonsense on my phone. I simply lose track of time. Bookstores and music stores. The feeling of walking into a Borders and browsing the eternally high bookshelves can't be topped. Journalism. Via forcing a change from subscription to eyeball, ad click-based revenue. Get the facts right became get it out first. An employed person on Twitter became journalist. Don't become the story became your identity drives your reporting. Be objective became advocate. Newspapers and reporters became brand names. The evening news became the evening 6-hour opinion block. Nintendo Power. Oh man, I had a subscription for a year as a present. I still remember reading about the winning config in a custom Robo-tourney. Had an absolute blast reading every one. Don T. Remember what happened to him though. This weekend my wife and I went apartment hunting in a super rural area that had no listings posted online. We popped into a real estate office and talked to someone there about apartment rentals. They just sold houses, but they gave us a few names and numbers of friends they had that did rentals. One was the owner of a lumber supply shop. So we followed the real estate guy's directions up the street. Turn at the bank, go through a light and turn to the right to the lumber yard. The owner was busy so we spoke with the guy there behind the counter. He said the owner didn't have anything available at the moment but gave us more friends' numbers to call. It was like doing detective work in the 80s. We found a nice place and made arrangements for the lease all in one day. kinda made me appreciate the days before instant gratification of online house hunting. Thank you so much for watching and have a good day.